The, there's Prada 2 is the brand new movie, which is the kickoff to the summer movie season. This is the sequel to the first film, which came out 20 years ago in 2006. Writer Aline Brosh McKenna is back, as well as director David Frankel. Anne Hathaway's back, this time in the lead role as Andy Sachs. 20 years later, she is an aspiring journalist doing very well, but she unexpectedly gets fired and then is hired out of the blue at Runway, which of course is ran by Miranda Priestley, once again played by Meryl Streep, as well as her side person, Nigel, played by Stanley Tucci. At the beginning of the movie, Miranda has a PR nightmare, and Andy is hired off the street in order to fix Runway's PR crisis. Also, Emily Blunt is back, just like from the first one, playing Emily, who now works with Dior, who works side by side with Runway. Also in the film is Kenneth Branagh, who plays Stuart, who is Miranda's husband. Justin Theroux plays obnoxious billionaire Benji, and Lucy Liu also plays another billionaire in the movie. The film is an hour and 59 minutes and is PG-13. Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new review here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max. Remember, today I'm talking The Devil Wears Prada 2. And this is the first film I definitely am a big fan. I think it's an excellent movie. Is it a classic? Is it a movie that I absolutely love? No. It's not a film that I need to rewatch once or twice a year. But again, it really brought a lot of these people onto the mainstream. Obviously, Meryl Streep was the centerpiece. Obviously, was a big, big star 20 years ago. And that's why she was very much the lead of that first movie. But you had aspiring stars in Anne Hathaway and really unknown superstars like Emily Blunt, a part of that project. And here we are 20 years later, and all four actresses, and actors are Academy Award winning or nominated actors. So bringing it back, the gang back together, I was nervous but excited. And I do think this movie, for the most part, delivers as a really solid legacy sequel. I was really nervous this could feel like a cash grab, just getting the cast back together, redoing the same exact events of the first film, and just checking the boxes and just delivering fan service for fan service sake. But what I think makes this movie stand out and why it works for me more than most legacy sequels is the fact that the characters and really the society around them evolve, especially magazines, fashion, journalism. Everything has evolved in just a mere 20 years. And now this film brings Runway to the 2026 era of society, where now everything is about digital copies, people being sent their dresses, the expenses being up, what it takes to be a journalist these days. This movie explores all of that, and I think that's what makes this movie really stand out. They could have easily just made another fashion movie with Andy as her assistant, maybe, or just working person, but they didn't. They established a clear dynamic, a different dynamic between Andy and Miranda in the first one, because again, Andy was one of Miranda's assistants. But now this time, Andy has some power of her own. She's an accomplished journalist who is trying to really save Miranda's back throughout the entire film. But there's also, as I said, a power dynamic where, yes, Miranda's still running Runway. She has ultimate control. Andy can actually physically do things for the company other than just hand her a cup of coffee that can help save the day. And I think a lot of those elements I really enjoyed. Of course, the cast here is as charming as ever. Meryl Streep isn't as devilish, I'll say. She's not as rude, let's just say, in this movie than she was in the first film. But of course, it's Meryl Streep. She's one of the greatest of all time, and she absolutely delivers. Anne Hathaway, I also think, is solid in this movie, of course, as Andy. She was definitely more entertaining, I would say, in the first film, but for this purpose, I still thought she got the job done. The two standouts, though, for me were Stanley Tucci, of course, as Nigel, and Emily Blunt as Emily, back from the first film as well. They give Nigel a lot more to do in this movie, especially his relationship with Andy, played by Hathaway, where the whole bit of the movie is that Miranda completely forgot all, she's gone through all of these assistants. She doesn't really remember any of them, especially when Andy comes back to Runway. But the one person who does remember who Andy was and sees her talent has always been Nigel. And Hathaway and Tucci's dynamic honestly was my favorite story going on in the movie. You really bought their friendship, you bought their respect for each other. as well. But Emily Blunt, she was really the one who was chewing up the scenery, the evil scenery in this movie. She is phenomenal. She is such an excellent actress. Also, like she, one of the best working actresses we have today. She's very good in this movie. It looks great. The costumes, the dresses are just fantastic. Even when Hathaway is just walking through New York going to a job, the outfits are just outrageously great in this movie. It's funny. I think it's also really sweet towards the last 20 to 25 minutes as well. Now, is this movie as good as the first Devil Wears Prada? Definitely not. I think there's two key issues with the movie. The first one is that there doesn't seem to be that energy and that quick comedy, evil stuff going on like there was in the first film. The first film has so much energy throughout the entire film. You can really feel the 2 hour runtime with this movie. It feels kind of long. And I think the first half of the movie, especially, is quite slow until things in the plot really get ratcheted up. The first half, I would say, is kind of boring, but I think the second half of the movie is exactly what you kind of want out of a movie like this. But it just doesn't have that same quick, fiery energy that you had in the first Devil Wears Prada. They also add in the romance for Miranda, for sorry, not for Miranda, for Andy's character again. We have Peter, who's played by Patrick Bramwell, who I think, again, Bramwell and Hathaway have good chemistry, but it's a subplot in the movie that does not need to be in this movie. Her having a love interest and falling in love with someone adds nothing to the movie or the story. It literally could have been completely written out of the movie and we would have saved 15, 20 minutes and been just cool. And the movie would have felt probably more energetic and more well paced. Right? The film drags itself when it's trying to force feed us a romantic angle. Some of the other news, so I really did not like Justin Theroux as his obnoxious billionaire. It was a bit too cartoonish and over the top for me. So there's definitely some misses here. It's definitely not as good or as fresh as the original film, but there's a lot of good nostalgia here. Some of the bits are great. The cast is great. I think really moving and showing where the characters have officially evolved 20 years later. Not just the characters, but where magazines, journalists are in a day today. So overall, I'm giving The Devil Wears Prada a 3.5 out of 5. I am going 70% for Devil Wears Prada 2, a really solid sequel. What are your guys' thoughts on this movie? Let me know down in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys in another video very soon.